Today I'm sharing cut flower secrets for fall that you can apply in your own backyard. How I cut, how I condition, and how I arrange fall flowers. And also how to switch gears for fall in the entire garden. I'm still deadheading the flowers so that they don't go to seed and they rebloom for me. But if you want your flowers to self-seed, leave a few of them to go to seed on the plant. My flowers and my plants started to get less water now. I water them less frequently. I used to water them twice a day, and now I'm only watering them once every day. It is October after all. And if the weather continues to cool down, I will soon water them every 2 or every 3 days. I'm still fertilizing once a week all my potted flowers. Like my dahlias are in pots, and I will continue to do so because they have no other source of food. The potting soil is not real soil, it's just a substrate, like cocoa coir. And the only way they get the nutrients late in the season is by feeding them once a week. But if you're growing perennials in pots, slow down with the fertilizer. Feed them once every 2 weeks and then every other 3 weeks. However, I'm not fertilizing the flowers in the flower bed because early this spring I gave it lots of compost and organic fertilizer, and the flowers are set until the end of the season. Harvesting cut flowers from your own backyard can be a little bit tricky. Cut your cosmos as soon as they open up. But for your zinnias and your rudbeckias, you must wait until they're fully open and do the wiggle test. If the bloom is still wiggling on top of your stem, it's not good for cutting yet. For dahlias, you need to check the back of the petals. If the back petals are straight and they're not reflexed or turned towards the stem, then they're perfect for cutting. Always strip the leaves between the water line, and I'm throwing them in a separate bin. I don't compost them because they have powdery mildew. Always cut directly into a bucket of water. For sunflowers, you want to cut them at an angle. Strip the leaves immediately into the water, and then immediately cut the stems underwater one more time. And to prevent wilting in the bouquets, for some plants you need to sear the ends in hot water. For example, for dahlias or for coleus. You wouldn't even know it's October. The yellow yarrow, sky say yellow, is blooming for the second time this year. The pro-cut white night sunflower, which I just planted 3 or 4 weeks ago, she is blooming too. Isn't she cute? And the only one to show signs of weakness is the perennial Rudbeckia Goldstrom, but she's still blooming, less and less, however. On the contrary, the echinaceas are in full season, full steam ahead. They are full of new growth, new blooms. And new buds. And if you see something strange with these petunias, they're not equal in length. What I like to do is to let them go longer and longer and longer. I never trim them. But one of the pots, the one on that side, recently had some black aphids. So I had to trim everything and I replaced it with a similar pot. You can't even tell. Meanwhile, the pot that I completely cut down is blooming again. Look! And if we were earlier in the season, it would have grown back all together. So a good trick is to keep some spare petunias, but all in the same color. However, in here, where my flamingo feather celosia had been infested by black aphids, I let the ladybugs do their work, and now all the stems are clean because the ladybug larvae ate everything. And the clearance petunia that I put here in late August are thriving also. They are super cute. Also overflowing in one of my containers is the beautiful, beautiful sweet potato vine. Not perennial in my country. I also have the sweet potato vine on purples. I'm mad about it. I do love anything with purple leaves. This is my oxalis, all fours shamrock. This is my Tradescantia zebrina. So these two plants, I bring them inside and I winter them in my tiny cottage. But first, I quarantine them for 2 weeks when I bring them inside. I place them apart from all my other houseplants to make sure that they don't infest them with aphids and other stuff. So beware when you bring plants inside for the winter. A red basil with purple leaves, of course. One of my absolute favorite fragrances ever. Mwah! Hibiscus mahogany splendor, or poor man's Japanese maple. In a pot, I use it as fall foliage for my bouquets, and an adorable 9-bark diabola or physocarpus in a pot. It's definitely dahlia season here in my zone 6 in Romania. The rudbeckias in the most gorgeous fall shades. Asters, they start to bloom in September and October. I grow them in pots. They are perennial in my zone 6 in Romania, and they make a wonderful, wonderful cut flower. Every season brings something new and exciting, and our gardens never look the same twice. And this makes me think of us as humans, because each season of our life comes with new interests, new lessons, and new preferences. And who else has been growing like crazy here in my shade garden? It's Coleus. I've been growing this for the first year ever, and I let it all go loose. But it's interplanted with my shade perennials, and I hope that they haven't killed any of my perennials for growing this big. Let's do a haircut. Hello, hello, my sweet hellebores. Haven't seen you this year. Hello, my sweet Japanese painted fern. Here you are, my lovely hostas. And my lovely hookeras. Look, purple petticoats. Everything looks great except for this wonderful little amber hookera who's got new growth, but I can tell that it's struggling in here. So maybe it's time to move her from here, and I will repot her. Let me just find the perfect pot for this hookera. Add some perlite for drainage. Add compost. Gently tease her from both sides. Okay, I can tell that this one has got some very strong roots. Good for you, little hookera. And plant her. In here, one of my gomphrenias has died suddenly, but all the others are doing great. Gomphrena is so difficult to pull through the support netting. And compost. Cosmos apricota. Queenie red lime zinnias. Sunflower procat plum. I succession plant my sunflowers every 2-3 weeks. For example, these sweeties, procat red, they were in a hurry and they bloomed earlier, but on smaller blooms. At the same time as the sunflowers, I sowed in July the specialty zinnias, my flore zinnias, which are not thriving because of lack of sunshine. And despite the total shade from the walnut tree in this raised bed, it is still blooming everywhere, the beautiful Lavaterra. I grew it this year for the first time. I fell totally in love. I have no idea where I'm gonna plant it in the sun next year, but I must grow it again. And she's just one of 5 white cut flower varieties that I grew this year for the first time. Some white flowers were not white at all, like this super beautiful zinnia, Isabellina. Look, it's full of them. I was not upset. Not only is this color perfect for fall, she also lasts a very long time in bouquets. So I'm arranging with her right now. And if your main cut flowers this fall are the dahlias, click here to learn 5 secrets for very long lasting dahlias in bouquets.